let me also welcome on the telecast is Pankaj Sharma. He is the co-founder and director of Log9 Materials. The company provides a range of cutting-edge electric vehicle batteries and energy storage solutions. It's good to have you on the telecast, sir. And of course, the first question with regards to the EV infrastructure and the electric vehicles that have been bought in our country, and my particular focus on Delhi. How do you see this increase that has taken place in the last few years?
I think it's a fantastic transition that we're seeing. With every electric vehicle that runs on the road, you have an opportunity to reduce the carbon emission by almost 50%. So I think every electric vehicle, every owner of that electric vehicle is a change agent, is a chief of climate action, as we call them. And Delhi has been leading the charts in terms of EV adoption. If you look at it, especially on the businesses side, Delhi policies not to allow internal combustion engine driven delivery vehicles to enter into the Delhi center between the peak hours. I think that kind of policy is a very progressive policy, because what it does, it allows businesses to make a decision to go electric. And when businesses are conducted on electric vehicles, like imagine, last mile deliveries, middle mile deliveries, if all of that is being done on an electric platform, you decarbonize the sector, which is one of the most heavy polluting sector.
Correct.
I think it's a great opportunity. The regulations are pretty lined up, and I think the enthusiasm in India. This is a country that adopts, when it adopts, like UPI, when it adopted everything, the world got to see how the adoption happens. And I think electric vehicle adoption is on a similar track in which everybody wants to own an EV, whether it's business or private.
Right, absolutely. Talking about your company, Log9 Materials, if you could shed more light into what is it, how do you manufacture these EV batteries? How do you then align yourself with, companies that manufacture EV vehicles? How does the process go about?
So we are India's first company to make its own lithium-ion cell. I think that's a big step forward for Log9 as a company, because that's acquiring the building block technology of lithium-ion batteries. Because in a lithium-ion batteries, typically what you have is lithium-ion cells, and most of the lithium-ion cells and the cells are imported from neighboring countries at this point of time. So we've taken the first leap as an innovative material science company to make its own lithium-ion cells. And then, from those lithium-ion cells, we go ahead and make those battery packs that are designed for two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheelers, and then forklift and other material handling. So we're in the business of creating very high-end batteries. Everything built grounds up for a specific OEM. We're not a vehicle manufacturer, so we depend and talk and convert a lot of our OEMs as our business partners. We design our battery packs for their particular vehicle that they want to launch in the market. The USP that we have is these are the world's fastest charging batteries that we're producing at Log9.
Okay.
Imagine an electric vehicle that can charge faster than your mobile phone. It kind of is a game changer tech.
It absolutely is. So you're saying that your electric vehicle can be charged in a span of about 10 to 15 minutes, even less?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our two-wheelers are getting fully charged in 12 minutes. Our three-wheelers are getting charged in 30 to 35 minutes. Four-wheelers are getting charged in 40 to 45 minutes. So it's a paradigm shift. You're moving away from 4 to 5 hours of charging time into minutes.
Oh, that's absolutely fascinating. So compared to your competitors in the market, what is the kind of gap that they witness in terms of how far behind are they when it comes to their systems and their innovation technology?
I think I have a very democratic mindset, perhaps. I don't see any competition to Log9. I see entrepreneurs and business partners which are trying to build different technologies that are there in the market. I see some companies that are working in an area of making battery fast chargeable similar to Log9, and I think it's fully support that. That's what India needs. What I see the big catch up that some of the other team members are trying to do with Log9 is Log9 has played a playbook where it has the competency all the way from materials to cells to battery pack to its own BMS, and going forward, creating technologies for electric vehicle, capture electric vehicles. So I think what Log9 is creating a trail of an understanding that if you have to build a battery, which is really good, made for India, for Indian climatic condition, you have to control the technology, you have to build the tech in-house. A lot of other players perhaps are depending on technologies being imported from outside, maybe a battery management system from somewhere else, a cell from somewhere else. But if you build everything in-house, you build it with the awareness that it's going to work at 45 degrees, it's going to be running in Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad.
Right.
So you build with awareness. So it's all about building tech grounds up for India, made in India.
Right. Now, Pankaj, there was a lot of concern, the initial models of electric scooters that came into being, and there were these blasts that were reported from certain parts of the country. And that made people, commuters, buyers skeptical about whether they should buy these electric vehicles, whether they should buy these electric scooters. How do you ensure that they are safe, the batteries are safe to use? Pankaj, if you're able to hear me.
Now I can hear you. I lost you last 10 seconds.
Again, the question being that in the past there have been these incidents where, there have been explosions, there have been blasts that have been reported for electric scooters particularly. How do you ensure these electric batteries are safe to use?
I think electric vehicle batteries are quite safe. Unfortunately, those incidents happen. But as they say, feedback is the breakfast of champions, and entrepreneurs are all hungry to get the feedback. It was an unfortunate feedback, but what has happened post those EV fires is that the government of India came up with a safety certification that is required when you're building a battery called AS156 certification.
Okay.
And in that certification, safety is coded first. So when you are building a battery pack, you have to take certain safety measures so that even in a worst case scenario, the battery will not catch fire, or there'll be alert systems and there'll be fire suppression systems built into those batteries. So kudos to the government of India. They came out with a certification and it's mandated, and every battery that goes out in a two-wheeler or three-wheeler or a four-wheeler has to comply with the safety standard. So I think we've got to act together. Understanding that India is a hot climatic condition and things can go into thermal runaway fast, that certification is godsend, and I don't think EVs are any more unsafe. They are as safe as your ICE engine, or maybe better.
Okay. Pankaj, quickly before I let you go, how has the government been contributory and helpful by way of policy making for battery makers such as your company?
I think the government has taken some very good preemptive steps. So step one that they did was they were able to bring the FAME subsidy so that they brought the cost down to acquire an electric vehicle. That was part one. Then they came up with another incentive, which is called the PLI. So promoting Indian companies to produce its own lithium-ion cells, and the government can do a production-linked incentive for those companies. So that's part two. There has been intervention and certification as AS156, so that safety is put in the center. And I think and then at the policy level, if you look at different states are coming up with their policy where they're saying to enter the city, you have to be on electric. There has been also in terms of policy change and investment from the government in terms of infrastructure on charging infrastructure. So if you look at it as a nation that's on its way to becoming what it can become, I think the government has done its part. We as citizens and we as entrepreneurs, I think we need to do our part and put one step along with the government of India to say, okay, fine, we're going to be adopting electric vehicles, we're going to build electric vehicles. And I'm very positive, given where the Planning Commission and the government has been, that the very progressive policies will continue to come and support indigenization of technology in India, and we should have EVs made in India for India.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pankaj Sharma, for joining us on the telecast, sharing your views and obviously the innovative technology that you use for the revolution that we want to witness when it comes to electric vehicles in our country.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.